All right, here's your homework solutions on polynomial functions, turning points, and the like. I'm going to create two screens here. Here's one screen. Let me get the other screen. So I need you to open up Desmos. So here are my two screens. And so let's start. I'm going to type this into Desmos to begin with. Hopefully this comes out in the video. I think it will. Then I'm looking to see where the turning points are. So if you need to zoom in, you can. So there's a turning point here and here. And I'm just going to round to the nearest whole number. Here it is again, here and here. So I'm not worried about this part. The domain and the range, we're just going to gloss over right now, not worry about it. But the max and minimum. So we have a maximum here, which is at, round it, it's at 3 and 1. We're going to round that. And we have a minimum here at 1 and negative 1. So I'm going to put that in the book, 1 and negative 1. Now I'm going to graph it. So I'm also going to use the intercepts. So I'm going to approximate them, the intercepts here, at 0.5 and 2 and 3.4. So I'm going to, those are my approximate x-intercepts. The turning points are at 3 and 1 and negative 1. And then 4 is the y-intercept. So it goes like this and then like that. So there's the graph. So the end behavior, you can see the right end goes down, that's negative infinity, and the left end goes up, that's positive infinity. I like to draw a number line from negative infinity to infinity, and then the x coordinates of the turning points, so in order would be 1 and 3. And then you can see the first part of the graph falls, then it rises, and then it falls. So where is it increasing is from 1 to 3, the plus sign. And it's decreasing from negative infinity to 1 and from 3 to infinity. All right, let's try the next one. Number 6. So I'm going to type in the new equation here. Plus 6. So I typed it in. I'm going to move it over so I can see it. So I see there's a turning point here and here. So I'm going to write that down. So I'm not going to focus on this. So you can just let it go. So the maximum is at 0, 6. And we have a minimum, if I round, at 2, negative 7, approximately. So I'm going to put those on my graph. So 0, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2, negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We also have x-intercepts, just to fill it out, is about negative 1, positive 1. And the last one is that, like, just after 3. So close. All right, and then just going to connect the dots nicely as best I can. There's the graph. So I know the right end goes to positive infinity and the left end goes to negative infinity. I'm going to draw a number line from negative infinity to positive infinity. The x-coordinate of the turning points, I'm going to put them in order, which is 0 and 2, and I'm going to follow the graph. So the first graph rises, then falls, and then rises again. So that increases from negative infinity to 0 and 2 to infinity, and it decreases from 0 to 2. All right, let's try the next one. So again, I'm going to type this one in. So we have x to the 4th. Subtract 4x cubed. Oops. Try that again. Subtract 4x to the 4th, third, plus 3x squared, plus 4x, take away 5. I'm going to do this, and so I can just see the turning point. So we have a turning point here, here, and here. Here, here, and here. There they are. All right, so again, I'm going to focus on that. So we have a minimum at like negative, like at 0 and -6 around. We have another lower point at 2 and -1. And then we have a higher turning point at around 1 and -1 if I round. So I'm going to use those points. I'm going to go to 1, -1, 0, -6 approximately, and 2, -1. I know one's a little bit lower than the other, but we'll do it like that. And then we're going to connect them. So we have an intercept at around -1 and just a little bit more than 2. All right, so I'm going to connect to the best of my ability and draw it. So there's the graph. So I know that both ends go up. And where is it increasing and decreasing? So again, from -infinity to infinity, I'm just going to use the x coordinates. So 0, 1, and 2. So the first part of the graph decreases, then increases, then the next part decreases, and then the last part increases. So from 0 to 1 and 2 to infinity, it's increasing. It's decreasing from -infinity to 0 and 1 to 2. All right, last one for our homework. I'm going to type in number 8. So I'm going to keep that in there. So -x to the 4th plus 2x squared. So I'm going to erase this part. Minus x. And then -2. All right. And I'm going to look carefully at this. I might zoom in just a little bit so you can see it. Again, I'm going to approximate where these are to the best of my ability. So I'm going to say -1 and pretty close to 0. So I'm going to move this up. All right. So I'm going to say there's a maximum at -1, 0. It's a little bit, there's a decimal there. This one here is like 0 and -2. And this one is like 1 and -2, just a little bit above. But again, that's a maximum. All right, we're going to put those on the graph. Those are approximations. And then we have intercept. We just have the one intercept here. So I'm going to follow. And there's the approximate graph that you see. Both ends go down. And then we're going to draw a number line from -infinity to infinity. And we're going to put these in order. So that's -1, 0, and +1. So the first part of the graph increases, then it decreases, then it increases, and then it decreases. So it increases from -infinity to -1. It also increases from 0 to 1. It decreases from -1 to 0 and 1 to infinity. And that's it. You did your homework. All right, Mr. G Math over and out. I hope that helped. Until next time.